My name is Caroline Hobbs, and I'm coming to you from Silicon Valley, California. So I am surrounded by Apple, Netflix, Google, all of the tech companies here in Northern California. As such, I have become a bit of a real estate tech nerd. One of the things, I own my own brokerage here, and technology has always been a key component in how we run our business. And, just with my own natural organization skills, I have really been able to build out some pretty amazing systems that really encompass every single part of the transaction. So let's go ahead and get started with my first demo video. In these videos, I'm going to tell you my honest feedback on the software and the tools being used. I'll let you know about any other software or alternative tools that I think can do the same job for maybe less money. And then I'll also tell you what kind of roadblocks you might run into while using the softwares, and kind of talk a little bit about the underlying software that the product is utilizing. So that way you can really think of all of the use cases for the technology and build it into your workflows much more efficiently. So first up, I want to thank May Graves for asking for a review of Beaconstac and Flowcode. So these two companies are known for their dynamic QR codes. So you might be asking, what is a dynamic QR code? A dynamic QR code is a QR code that, when scanned, has tracking information attached to it. A lot of times this is using either your IP address or some kind of cell phone coordinates. Funny enough, I was actually a customer of Beaconstac. I just got a subscription with them about a month ago. And the reason I subscribed to try out their software was for the location data. I was creating a QR code that I uploaded into their system to enable the dynamic code, going back to a property valuation page on my website. And the idea is that when people scan that QR code to go to the property valuation page, I would also get their location data. That was the idea. You do need to have location sharing enabled on your phone in order to get that location data. In my experience with Beaconstac, it was a little rough, to be honest. I didn't actually get the location data even when I allowed the data sharing to go through. This could be partially user error. I only tried it a single time, but overall it was a little bit clunky. And again, I sent it out to several people and I got scans, and the location data didn't come through for a single lead. So that is a downside of the dynamic QR codes, is that location sharing data. So if you're in an area where people are hypersensitive about security and location sharing on their devices, then having the dynamic QR code may or may not work. I think during one of the demo calls, one of the sales reps said something about getting the location data for like 40% is about average. 40 to 50% of the scans that come in is the amount of location data. So something to be aware of, and just to know up front when you're evaluating these softwares is how it's going to actually collect the data. The other company that we are comparing Beaconstac against is a company called Flowcode. Again, they are known for their dynamic QR codes. When you talk to a sales rep or an engineer at Flowcode, they will tell you that they are not just a QR code company. They are a data company. And going into these calls, I was not anticipating to become a customer. As I mentioned, my experience with Beaconstac was and it's honestly been on the chopping block of programs that I've been meaning to cancel a subscription for. So wasn't quite sure what I was going to feel about Flowcode, if it was just going to be the same kind of software, same kind of tools. I'm happy to say it's not, but that doesn't mean that their program is perfect right now. So I spoke with a sales rep on Thursday last week. I spoke with their head of engineering on Friday last week, and I'm talking to their engineering team again on Thursday, and I believe their marketing department. Ultimately, what I learned, and I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen so you can see. Okay, so taking a look at the Flowcode pricing model and kind of the different subscriptions that they offer, you'll notice that you have Pro starting at $10 a month, Pro Plus at $40 a month, and then going up to Growth for $250 per month. Now, the major difference between most of these, and I realize that the text is a little bit small here, but on the Pro plan, you're going to get 10 QR codes per month. On the Pro Plus, you'll get 50, and then on the Growth, you'll get 500 postcards per month. And then they offer this enterprise option right here. So what I learned while talking to Flowcode is, yes, they do the dynamic QR code, very similar to Beaconstac. And I'll also talk about some other features that I really like with them. But more importantly than that is they actually have a piece of technology where they're not only going to be able to create dynamic QR codes, but they're creating variable dynamic QR codes. And you're like, oh my God, what does this mean? Variable dynamic QR codes, you can think of it very similar to the way that CoreFact, the postcard marketing company, uses the keys to identify who is requesting the property valuation. So with a variable dynamic QR code, essentially every single piece of mail that you're sending out is going to have its own unique QR code so that when you scan it, you know exactly what address it was that scanned the postcard, the one that, so it uses that mailing address. So no location sharing data. To me, this is by far the most impressive part of their tech stack. Unfortunately, right now, their plans don't really reflect that, because even at the $250 price point, 500 postcards is a lot less postcards than a lot of people are going to do for their farming efforts. So it may or may not work for you. Something I did learn, though, is that they do have a few printing partners that are set up on their enterprise solution that do offer their Flowcode technology in their mailers. So essentially, you wouldn't need a Flowcode subscription. You would go straight to the printer and do the variable QR code mailings through them using the Flowcode technology. Now, there's some pros and cons with all of this. Very similar. I'm going to go ahead and show you the pricing on Beaconstac as well. You'll notice Beaconstac is quite a bit cheaper. So similar. Their starter pack is $5 a month. You get 3 dynamic QR codes. Lite for $15 a month, you're going to get 50 dynamic QR codes. You'll get 250 dynamic QR codes for $49 a month, or 500 for $99. They too also offer an enterprise solution. They're not doing the variable dynamic QR codes, to my knowledge. This is something that was literally left at the end of my second conversation with Flowcode. So all in all, when you're looking at the data that you're able to actually collect from and see the interactions with your marketing materials, I definitely think that using the variable dynamic QR code is going to be a lot more effective than just the regular dynamic QR code. So moving forward, that is something that I would really suggest. And I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing this more broadly available with other dynamic QR code companies. Something else I want to talk about and just kind of spark your mind about is where these people are being directed to once you scan the QR code. So on Flowcode, they call it a flow page. And it's essentially just a landing page. And Beaconstac has one very, very similar. I think they just call it landing page. But if you actually take a look at what they look like when they're built out, I think many of you are going to recognize it. It's very, very similar to like your Popple Dot, those kind of like digital business card landing pages, or like your Linktree, if you use one of those on social media or whatnot. It has a very similar look and feel. I have personally been trying out using my Popple, and I have a team account, and so I've been using Popple to get contact information for people, and I started putting it on marketing pieces. And I also actually sent it out as one of the QR code, like scan your QR code for your home value postcards. And I actually had a pretty good return. I want to say my return was about 5%. As far as scans and getting information. And basically what I did was on the pop-up page, I just asked a few questions where it was like your name, your property address, are you just curious about your home price, or are you thinking about moving in the next 3 to 6 months, or maybe thinking about starting to move in like the next year? Just giving some people some options to see if I can get some initial information to gauge their readiness to act. But yeah, all in all, there's a lot of different ways to lead people to a landing page. It's all about the conversion, and really what these dynamic QR codes are designed to do, and the variable dynamic cards do a better job of, is seeing without a doubt exactly who's reacting to your mailings, whether or not they continue through your lead funnel process. So all in all, if I were to choose between the two companies, I would probably go with LeadFlow. However, I am really curious, and I'm going to be demoing some of their printing partners to see how they use the LeadFlow technology and put it into the mailings, and just kind of verifying the entire workflow process with that. So stay tuned, and I can't wait to show you guys how we can use this technology to enhance our ROI on all of our farming efforts. Thanks so much. Have a great day.